Yesterday I had my student dialogue and it was I'm sexy and I know it, and it was based on how we see ourselves, body image, and how others see us. We started the new student dialogue just going around the room and filling out a piece of paper um, about ourselves and the important things that make us and what we think is important in our lives. Just kind of like age, gender, nationality, religion, all that kind of stuff, and how important it was to us. We also went over the different types of group conversations, such as dialogue, debate, discussion. And we went over points that discussion was kind of just a conversation to learn things about, and um, that debate was more of an argument, in that we were doing a dialogue, which is supposed to be everybody's kind of supporting each other. If you do have a disagreement, you're supposed to just ask a question. It's about learning. So the first hour, we grouped up with someone and talked about those different importances in our lives, such as religion and so on. And it was really good. I bonded with the girl that I was paired with, and we both had similar things that were important to us, um, such as religion, ethnicity, different stuff like that, and just talked about our interests. And then for the second half of the session, we went more into body image, which was the point of the student dialogue. So what we did was there were different posters set up in the room, divided in half, and there were different categories such as white, black, skinny boy, skinny girl, just different types of people, and kind of it was based around the stereotypes that we have about that so-called name associated with that type of person. And actually, before we did this, we talked about beauty and what do you think when you think of the word beauty? And we went around in the room and all kind of said inner beauty sticks out to us more than outer beauty. Um, and then we wondered what exactly would type of pictures would come up if you did Google images about beauty. And it came up with a bunch of faces of models, completely photoshopped, with tons of makeup on, just not realistic type of people. And we all kind of agreed that this is the way society sees women in particular, because most of the pictures were women. There was like one male in the whole like thousands of pictures we just scrolled down through. And just how the goals are real unrealistic. And we all agreed on that and bonded on that. And then that's when we switched over to the posters on the wall. And our leaders of our student dialogue gave us little note cards to write the first word that you associate with that type of persona, such as Asian or um, underweight, overweight, like I said, white, black, all those type of things. And you're just supposed to write a word that you associate with it. So they gave us enough for each type, each thing, and what we thought of it, what type of stereotype we put them in on our mind, or whatever came to your mind first. Maybe even if you didn't have that specific stereotype, kind of just what you know of. So we did that, and then we posted it on the wall with our little post-its. And I thought the activity, I mean, it just seemed like a learning process. Like, what do people think about it? Well, our leader got really offended, I feel like, because there was one that was transgender. And people, even maybe if they didn't think weird or they didn't think of abnormal or whatever their specific opinion was, when they put it up, they couldn't even feel that they didn't have to feel that way. That could just be a word that they associate with that. And me specifically, I see that as unnatural. That's just how I see it, especially raised in a Christian home. I feel like God makes us a certain way and a certain sex because that's what his plan has in mind for us. And that's the way we are supposed to be, just from my religion. And so when our leader saw the post-its under transgender, um, the whole purpose of the activity was for her to go up and take down post-its that she thought were not coherent with that, or what she thought shouldn't be associated with that. And she first went up and said her little spiel about how um, her best friend is transgender and how it's completely normal, which I thought the whole point of the dialogue was kind of to talk about it, not to try to impose your own feelings on the situation to us. So then she ended up kind of ripping off every post-it and saying why it was wrong, instead of maybe having a discussion about why someone thought that, or maybe how you could see it as that, but in her mind she doesn't see it like that. So it seemed as if she was really upset by it. And to me, the arguments that she made about how that was completely wrong, the ideas that were unnatural or weird or whatever, um, was that her theory was completely right and mine was wrong. She didn't point me out specifically, but everybody else that she doesn't know who had that idea or thinks that way. And instead of having a dialogue where we're supposed to talk about it or be open to other people's opinions, or cultures or anything like that, she just ripped them down. And I know she was sticking up for maybe her friend, but I'm sticking up for my religion, and I didn't get up and I didn't get offensive and say, well, transgender, I think you're going against the will of God. I didn't say that. I just kind of sat there quietly, uncomfortably, listening to her rant on about um, how she felt about the topic. And so I actually got out of the session more upset than I thought I was going to be, just because I felt like I was being ideals were being pushed upon me, which I didn't really like. And so I just don't think that it was as helpful or maybe as successful as it should have been, especially since at the beginning they went through a whole hour saying how this was supposed to be a dialogue and saying specifically why it wasn't a debate and how it was open and how the leaders were not supposed to go on about their ideas. They were just supposed to um, just help us all um, speak our own ideas and our own thoughts on the different sections or the different types of people and what we thought. And it was supposed to be not objective, but it ended up being objective. And um, I just think that that's not how it was supposed to be. But I did like the beginning, and I like the concept. If I think it might have just been the people that were in my dialogue. But so, thank you.